Welcome back on our main stage. We're having here our next amazing speaker, Laura Bassette. I'm so happy that you joined our summit today. Um, real quick, Laura Bassette will talk about physical activity for individuals with autism today. It's a great topic, a great presentation. I am so happy to have you here, Laura.
All right, well, thank you so much for that warm introduction, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my presentation. Okay, so does that look right on your end?
Perfect, Laura. I can see it.
All right, well, hello, everyone, and thank you so much for attending my presentation today. My name is Dr. Laura Bassette, and I'm an associate professor at Ball State University, which is located in Indiana. And I'm so excited to be presenting about physical activity for individuals with autism. This is a topic I'm really passionate about. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. So I earned my Ph.D. from Purdue University in special education. And during my doctoral program, I worked with teachers to support students with disabilities through implementing both animal and technologically based interventions to teach students various skills. You know, we did projects that involved looking at cooking, also more academic skills such as math. After that, I worked as a behavior analyst where I developed behavior intervention plans for adolescents and adults with autism and developmental disabilities. And I worked in residential settings such as group homes, as well as day programs. And it was really through this work with adults where I observed the challenges that my clients faced in regards to physical activity and routinely engaging in a healthy lifestyle. I also had personally experienced the benefits for my own physical and mental health of engaging in more physical activity and identified this as a critical area of need for individuals with autism. And so when I started at Ball State, I was able to pursue this interest in teaching physical activities through a number of different projects. And I was able to build off of my previous experience in using technology to help facilitate the learning and incorporating this into the use of technology into my work with physical activity. And so the purpose of today's presentation is to share a broad overview about the needs and the benefits of physical activity. And I'm going to discuss several of my previous projects, which focus on increasing physical activity by including technology. And then I'm also at the end going to discuss a current project that I'm working on in case anyone out there is interested or knows someone who might be interested in participating in that project. And so when discussing physical activity, I just wanted to go over the World Health Organization's recommended levels. So for all adults, they recommend that adults get 150 to 300 minutes of moderate activity per week. Or if they're engaging in more vigorous activity, this could be reduced down to 75 to 150 minutes per week. So this is for all adults, but they do provide then additional guidance specifically for those who have disability. And so for children and adolescents, they recommend an average of 60 minutes per day of moderate to vigorous activity. And then they also specify limiting the sedentary time and particularly the amount of recreational screen time. For adults who have a disability, similarly, they recommend trying to limit that sedentary time, and they suggest replacing that with physical activity. And this could be of any intensity, even if it's just light intensity, since that can also have health benefits. And so, you know, these recommendation levels are important because we know that there are a number of physical activity deficits in individuals with autism. So some of the research has found that adolescents with autism are 27% more likely to be overweight and up to 72% more likely to be obese compared to their peers without disability. So this is obviously a large percentage of those with autism who are impacted. Furthermore, research has found that about 50%, 47 to 51% of adolescents with autism do not routinely engage in exercise or engage in those suggested amounts of daily physical activity. And so we know that this is obviously an important topic because there are a number of known benefits of physical activity for all individuals. And so there's, some information on the slide here about how physical activity is known to help reduce cardiovascular disease, help improve your heart health, improve and strengthen your muscles in your lower the risk of other issues such as type 2 diabetes or dementia, help control your weight, help improve your energy levels, help improve your sleep. And so, there are just such a number of overall benefits of physical activity for everyone. And then notably, there are also more specific benefits, particularly for people with autism. And so this can include decreasing repetitive behaviors, reducing aggression, reducing off-task behavior, helping to mitigate chronic disease. It can also help increase academic responding, appropriate motor behaviors, and can also fewer hospitalizations and school absences. And even just 10 minutes of low to moderate exercise can help reduce stereotypical behavior, which can be helpful, to replace some of that stereotypical behavior, even just for 10 minutes with physical activity. And so while we know there are a number of benefits, there are a number of secondary conditions that a lack of physical activity can contribute to, including disease, pain, depression, anxiety. And so the lack of engagement in physical activity can be further escalated by the barriers to exercise. And so there are a number of known barriers to exercise specifically for people with disabilities. And so these can include things such as the cost of the exercise program, transportation to get to the gym, knowledge of where and how to exercise, availability of a gym that's close by, and then a lack of energy and a lack of motivation. And so, beyond just needing to address the barriers on that previous slide, there are also some key considerations that we want to think about in regards to increasing physical activity, particularly within community settings. And so this is important because we know that adolescents and young adults who are sedentary, as an adolescent, they're going to be less likely to exercise as they enter into adulthood. And there's also, therefore, the need to increase access and promote fitness across the lifespan so that they can learn those healthy habits when they're younger, as children or adolescents, and then be able to carry them forward as they move into adulthood. And so some ways to help facilitate this are by teaching physical activity skills in those natural community settings. And furthermore, the research has found that people with disabilities who exercise at their community gym may increase their overall comfortability and their connection to their communities. And it can even provide increased social opportunities and just a broader exposure to the different types of leisure or physical activities that are available. So for example, for individuals with autism who get to work out at the YMCA, they may get to see the cardio area, the strength training area, maybe some of the group fitness classes, the access to maybe a pool that's available there. And so it just helps increase the opportunities of what's even available to engage in physical activity. And so given all of these considerations and my background in technological interventions, I've conducted a series of projects utilizing an app called Exercise Buddy. And this app was developed by others, not myself, to help teach and promote physical activity, particularly for individuals with autism. And I know personally I was drawn to this app because it included a number of behavioral-based principles, things such as visual schedules and video models. And those just aligned with the instructional methods that I know are effective when teaching all different types of skills to individuals with autism. And it just made sense to then apply that when looking at how to teach physical activity. And so some of my initial projects focused on teaching the participants how to perform the exercises with correct form and work to build their endurance and their stamina. And so I conducted projects across various settings, including in-person sessions, whether it be at their home or at the school. I also then began to do more projects at community fitness sites such as the YMCA. And then during the pandemic, I conducted a remote project. And so I do have a video here that shows how the app can be piped in remotely for Zoom sessions, just as an example of some of the app features.
Hi, I'm Emily, Ph.D. I am Dr. Bassette's current graduate assistant and previously worked as one of her fitness programs coaches when I was an undergraduate student. In this video, I'm going to provide an overview of how the BeneFit coaches will stream the Exercise Buddy app into the workout sessions with the participants using the iPad, just like this one. The coaches will screen share the Exercise Buddy as so through Zoom. The coaches will be prompted to this screen, exit the app, and open the Exercise Buddy app. From here, during the remote sessions, the coaches will assist the participants in selecting their exercises for their workouts. The coaches will guide the participants to select exercises that can be completed in view of the webcam while helping them meet their heart rate goals while using this application. The coaches will create the workouts by selecting workouts, new workout,
start, finish,
back to select exercises, and then they will assist by showing the available exercises through the Exercise Buddy application and selecting the desired exercises.
cardiovascular fitness, dynamic
Once
flexibility,
selected, they'll hit done, and they're prompted to a screen where they can input the amount of time for each exercise. Once that's completed, you hit start.
3, 2, 1, go.
And it'll begin the exercise. This is where the video models will be used in Exercise Buddy app to supplement the coach's instruction. Right here, you'll hit play video and it'll demonstrate a video of the exercise they're about to complete.
This is the boy running. Ready? Go.
After watching the video models, the participants will then engage in each exercise for the designated time to complete their workout for the day.
Okay, so just as we saw within the app, there are a number of different video models for the different exercises. And so during the different projects that I conducted, we would break down each of those exercises step by step as it was demonstrated based on the video model. And then we would assess if the participants were performing those steps of the exercise correctly. And so in the previous video, that was focused on when the sessions were being conducted remotely. And so in that case, the participants did not have the physical access to the iPad. And so we as the coaches would create the workouts for them. However, when I did do in-person and face-to-face sessions, we were able to teach the individuals with autism how to use the technology. And so the participants were able to learn how to create their own workouts using the Exercise Buddy app. But they are going to need direct instruction about how to use that technology. Furthermore, when actually having them do the exercise, they may need some additional instruction beyond, what's just provided in the video model. So they may need some prompts to kind of help them understand what they need to do to get started. If they do try, to attempt the exercise, maybe they might need some feedback to help correct their form if they aren't quite doing it correctly. It's important, obviously, to think about their preferences of the different types of exercises that they may want to do. I know for myself personally, some days I feel, maybe like doing yoga versus maybe going for a run or something like that. And so, the motivation can vary from day to day. And so it's just important to acknowledge that as you're thinking about developing some type of physical activity program. Additionally, a nice feature of the app is that you can create your own custom videos. And so this can be helpful if there's, let's say, as you saw in the app, there were a number of different, exercises that did have video models, but let's say there was some other exercise that you wanted to have the participants do that wasn't available. You could actually just film that yourself and then upload it into the app and then have even more access to incorporate the video models, but then still be able to build it like into that start finish schedule, like you saw in that other video. There are some limitations with the app that I just want to mention. So for example, with the start finish workout, you can only enter in 12 exercises for a given workout. So if you did want to have a workout that had more than 12 exercises, you can create multiple workouts. And we did teach participants how to do this when we had 16 exercises per workout. So they would just create 2 workouts with 8 exercises in each. But that's just, one of the limitations within the app to be aware of. And I will have more information and a link to a YouTube video that goes into more detail about the app at the end for anyone who might be interested, because I know people are always interested in getting more information about the app and how to use it and all its different features, because it has a lot more than what I presented here. And so more recently, and to expand upon teaching participants, how to do the correct exercises or do exercises correctly, I worked to develop a project where participants with autism were partnered with participants without autism. And so the pairs worked out together. Everyone created their workouts using that Exercise Buddy app. And then they learned how to provide encouragement and feedback to one another during the workouts. And so you can see on the screen here, the picture on the left where they're both bent over doing the stretch. It was during the warm up. So they both individuals would just do their warm up together prior to starting their official workout. And then for the workout, one person would do the exercise while the other person would provide them. And so you can see on the picture on the right, the gal is sitting there while in this case, it was actually her brother who was doing the exercise with the dumbbells. And so she would be providing encouragement to him while he did his dumbbell exercise. And then they would swap and she would do an exercise and then he would provide encouragement to her. And then we would observe them and record how well they were providing encouragement. And then at the end of the workout, they would provide feedback to each other and we would record if they provided the feedback correctly or not. And so this, was really focused on the known social deficits that we know exist in individuals with autism, while again, trying to expand upon those benefits of engaging in community physical activity, while also working to increase access to physical activity. And so, provided new opportunities for the participants to work out that included socializing with others, and also work to increase their comfortability in working out at a community gym. And so during the projects, I also would survey the participants as well as their parents regarding their thoughts about the program. And so on the slide here, I just have some examples of what both the participants and their parents had to share. So Carl was one of the participants, and he said, in regards to the exercise and using the app, I think it made me feel like I could and should be doing in regards to engaging in the physical activity. John's mom, so John was one of the participants, and his mom reported that he's getting exercise he normally doesn't get. So again, that did help to increase his access to engage in physical activity. Amy was one of the participants that I feel as though my strength has improved and she would want to keep using it. And that was in reference to using the app. So she really enjoyed getting to use that and seeing what to do. And then her mom, Amy's mom, reported that my child asked about working out. So Amy was asking about working out, reporting her progress. So I'm up to 8 pounds now. So Amy was working to increase the weight of the dumbbells that she was using during the different exercises. And so she was saying how she had gotten, I think it was from 5 pounds up to 8 pounds and reports feeling powerful. So, that's just great to hear, how she's building her strength and acknowledging her self-improvement. I looked at the opportunity of having the participants select which exercises they wanted to do. And so those participants, appreciated getting to select which exercises when given the option that they were doing. Most of the projects did also include a monetary incentive. So the participants were awarded, I think it was like $40 if they completed the entire project. And so I did just want to mention that because that was kind of like a secondary reinforcer that could have impacted their motivation. So ideally, we want to get to the point where the workout or engaging in the physical activity itself, is motivating and reinforcing. But, we know that motivation can be an area of deficit. So there may need to be other ways to help build that motivation until the participants can learn about the actual activity itself being motivating. And then for a different project, one of the parents had 2 of her adult children who were participants with autism. And so she reported that she thought that her adult children getting to interact with those college-age data collectors was socially beneficial. And so that was an unanticipated result of the study. They were all kind of around the same age, but she just, thought through her observations of her children getting to work with the data collectors, she thought that was just, really good for them socially. So I just thought that was an interesting result that wasn't anticipated that I wanted to share. And so, this information was to provide a broad overview of just some considerations to think about when thinking about how we can help promote physical activity. And so, if you're looking to do this, with your own children or for students or clients that you're working with, the 3 main takeaways that I would hope that you can learn are that, it's important to think about how you can use visuals. Obviously we know for people with autism that visuals are just so beneficial. We talked about the video models and the picture schedule, just really providing kind of that structure to help make it really clear about what the expectation is for the behavior. work to make it routine, so if you can incorporate it, weekly even is better than nothing, right? Even just one session per week is better than no sessions ever. So, just trying to make it as routine as possible. And then, kind of along with that is just thinking about how to have persistence over perfection. So, when starting out, someone may not be able to have, exactly perfect form, but that's okay. They're learning how to do it. And so it's just important to really get moving, start slow, and then just work to build it over time. And so moving forward, I am currently conducting a project on dog walking, which will expand my work on physical activity while combining some of my previous interests with animals. And so this project is focused on teaching individuals with autism to increase their overall pace and the number of steps that they take during walks, either by themselves and with their pet dog. And so, this was something that I was interested in because previous research has found that dog walking can help promote physical activity and help individuals with autism meet those physical activity guidelines that I had mentioned earlier. And also owning and exercising their own pet dogs has been found to help promote both overall well-being and physical activity in people with autism. And so I am just currently looking for participants for this project. So I just wanted to share a little bit of information about the criteria for inclusion, just in case you might know of anyone who might be interested. So participants do need to be between the ages of 12 and 30 and have the diagnosis of autism. Again, thinking about that adolescent to young adult age range. They do need to own their own pet dog, and this can include a service dog. And it needs to be leash trained and be able to be walked safely by the participant for a 10-minute walk. They need to, both the participant and the dog need to have the physical and motor capability to increase their walking pace, since that is part of the goals of the study. So currently the study is approved to be conducted remotely. And so that involves the participant having their own technology where they can zoom into the sessions with the research team members while they're on their walk, and also requires them to have an app, for example, on the iPhone health app that tracks the number of steps that are taken during the walks. But for anyone who may be located in Indiana, I am going to add the in-person option so that we could have that available for participants that we can travel to. But I am still going to keep the remote option so that people anywhere can be able to participate. The participants do need to be able to engage in training sessions and navigate the technology. We will train them on how to do that, but they do need to be able to just engage in those training sessions. They're eligible to receive up to $100 for participating. And the sessions, are scheduled based completely on the individual availability, and those Zoom sessions are not going to be videotaped, just to make that clear. So if you're interested in participating, I've included my email here. And then I've also, like I mentioned, included the QR code and a link to a YouTube video from those developers of that Exercise Buddy app for anyone who might like more information. And then I have my email there for anyone who would like to contact me, whether to talk about physical activity, the app, Exercise Buddy, and or that dog walking project. So at this time, I'm happy to open it up to any questions.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much. That was amazing. I can just remove your presentation at this point. Thank you for this very interesting session. There are some questions that I'm going to just put it on our stage so everyone can see it. So Kira asks, are there some exercises and workouts that are more beneficial for individuals with autism than others?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So within Exercise Buddy, I know the developers focused on, including a broad range of different types of exercises, but one of the ones that they've spoken to that they found to be beneficial, particularly for individuals who maybe have a lot of sensory, issues, or maybe oversensitive to their environment, that they found to kind of have a calming effect is if you know what a foam roller is, just kind of a log, and in Exercise Buddy they call it like a log, but it's just a standard foam roller that you would use to roll out like your muscles, but they included different exercises where the participants lay on that foam roller, even just laying on it they found can have a calming effect, or they do different exercises where they lay on it and then they do like different things with their arms where they bring them together or they put them overhead, but they definitely found that those kind of just laying on that log or the foam roller can be kind of produce that calming effect. Kind of just the sensory input of laying on it has been beneficial. And so, so that's one example, but, I would say kind of like with everything with autism, it's important to kind of assess individual preference too. Right. And the more exposure that they can have to, just different types of exercises can help, gauge where their interest might be.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for answering that. There's another question from Victoria Scott. How adaptable is the app to different levels of functioning?
Yeah. So I would say, I did a project where I worked with individuals with more severe cognitive intellectual disability. And I tried to use the video models that were available in the app as they were. And just for those folks, it wasn't, they weren't able to follow that video model very well. So that's where the custom, the ability to create your own custom video models was beneficial. So I was able to then kind of create more of like a walking circuit where they had to like walk up to like a step up bench and then step up on the bench and then like throw a ball, and I just created different custom videos for each of those steps of that circuit. And so for those with more, severe intellectual disability, that was beneficial for them. So again, it just kind of depends on the individual's functioning and if they're able to be receptive to that video model or not.
Got it. Okay, great. Last question from Nicole. The pairing of neurotypical person with ACD teen is a fabulous idea, but how do you find this fitness partner program locally? Great question.
Yeah. So that was, part of a research study that I did that was local to where I am in Indiana. So that was not something that I've seen kind of more widely spread, but I definitely encourage folks to think about, if there are opportunities. I know the YMCA I've worked with in Indiana have been super supportive of, me going in with my participants. Sometimes they don't even charge us to use their facility. So they've been super supportive of that. So there could be some opportunities there maybe to connect with, a local gym or, community fitness site and see if this is, broach the idea of, what opportunities might we be able to do to help, provide the access for the individuals with autism, and really make it, the goal for me was really to make it as inclusive as possible, where you're having both the individual with autism and their partner without autism really be on the same playing field and engaging in the same activities, both the physical activity itself and then also providing the encouragement back to their partner.
Okay, perfect. Laura, thank you so much, first of all, for your great presentations. It's a great and interesting topic, and for answering the questions. Laura just shared her email. I'm sure the audience can contact you if they have any other questions. Thank you so much for being part of this today. You now have 15 minutes time to explore the booth, and then we have our next main stage speaker waiting for us. Have fun, Laura. Thank you so much for being here. See you soon. Bye.